Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today I decided to share with you my wish list. This is the first wish list for 2022, and the wish list is, well, I think it's not very long. It's a very tame wish list. It really contains only the fragrances that I truly want. Because, there are a lot of fragrances that I either test or I hear about and I think, oh, I would like to have it. I would like to add it to my collection. But these are sort of would like to have, not really need to have. And the fragrances I'm going to talk to you about today are the ones that I really need to have in my collection. Now, some of these I have tried, some I have not tried, so I will tell you which one is which. But let's start with a fragrance that I have a decant of, that I have tried and I've fallen in love with, and this is probably my number one on this wish list. There is a reason why I'm talking about it first, although all the rest are in no particular order. Now, the fragrance that I am talking about is Porto Vintaj from Gustave Eiffel. I've talked about this fragrance, I think, in my favorite boozy scents video. Can't remember exactly what the name was, but when I was talking about fragrances that featured a note of some kind of booze or alcohol, I fell in love with this scent. It is so unusual, so different than any other fragrances that I have tried, and I am obsessed with getting it. First of all, the bottle. I mean, you can see the picture on the screen. I think it's gorgeous. It's, again, unusual, doesn't look similar to anything else. I'm not quite sure how comfortable it is to actually hold in your hand and use. I'm not sure, but who cares? It looks beautiful, and most importantly, the juice is amazing. So very quickly, what is this scent about? So there are candied oranges in here. There is anise. There is some kind of liquor. There is gingerbread, patchouli, musk, a few other notes. To me, the main notes that stand out are, of course, liquor. It's definitely boozy. It also has a very strong note of candied orange. And what's interesting is that there is a really strong note of anise, which brings this kind of, coldness to this fragrance. It's like, especially in the opening, it's like you get this whiff of cold air. That's kind of how it feels. So the scent overall is cold, but it's so beautiful. And I usually don't like anise in fragrances, especially when it's so prominent, but this one is just amazing. Now, I would purchase this fragrance in a second if I could find it. The problem is there are very few online stores that sell it, obviously. It's not available anywhere in the actual store, not around here. And none of the stores ship to Canada. I found one online retailer and it only ships to US. And I, for example, could get some kind of a cross-border service where they would ship it to, US and then ship it to me. The problem is I can't even pay for this order because they require credit card information and the only option is for US address, which obviously I don't have. So I don't know. I wish I never asked for this, but I wish maybe, I don't know, if someone could help me, someone from US, to get this fragrance, because I'm dying to add it to my collection. I would be very appreciative. Not a must, obviously, but if anyone would like to help me get this one, I would be very grateful. So yeah, this one is my number one that I want to add to my collection. Next, let's talk about the house of Roja Dove. Now, I am probably one of the last people here on YouTube that don't have any full bottles of Roja, nor have I tried anything from Roja. I have not tried or sampled a single Roja fragrance. that's just how it happened. I mean, obviously one of the reasons is because the house is very, very expensive. I also don't really have an opportunity to try anything, and you know, buying blindly is just not gonna happen with this price tag. So this is definitely the house that I want to explore this year, and maybe, hopefully, possibly add 1 or 2 bottles to my collection. Now, the 2 fragrances that kind of really stood out to me, probably the ones that I would like to try first, are Sweety Oud. Although, you know, I hear some conflicting views about this fragrance. Some love it, some not so much. Some say it's worth it, some say it's not worth it. I don't know, but this is definitely a fragrance that I would like to try. And oh, by the way, Sweety Oud, in case you don't know, I'm not going to go through all the notes, but it's obviously it has oud and it has a lot of sweet notes. So well, the reviews say it almost smells like some kind of sweet pastry with oud, which, you know, sounds amazing. The second one that I would like to try or possibly add to my collection is Enigma, which is more of a probably spring summery scent, kind of fruity floral. Now, of course, I would love to explore other fragrances from Roja, but these are the ones that kind of stand out to me and the ones that I would like to try, or like I said, hopefully add to my collection this year. Next fragrance on my wish list is a fragrance that I have tried, and it comes from the house that I fell in love with this year, a house that I dedicated a full video to. This is, of course, Fueguia 1833. Now, I reviewed quite a few fragrances in that dedicated video. By the way, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to link it up here. And I might have already purchased 1 or 2 from that list. You will find out in the next haul. But there is one more that I definitely want to add, and that fragrance is Flores Negras. It was one of the fragrances that surprised me the most out of the ones that I tested, because I didn't think I was going to like it. This fragrance is a fruity floral, although it definitely leans a little bit more fruity to my nose. It has frangipani, it has dates, it has oily notes, and it really has that kind of a really rich and really oily texture. It is so unusual, you know, just like all of the fragrances from this house are very unusual, fruity, floral, again, leaning a bit more fruity to my nose. Beautiful scent. Not for everyone, of course. I think none of the fragrances from this house are for everyone. None of them are safe blind buy. So definitely, if you're interested, test these fragrances first. But I fell in love with this one, and I think eventually this year I will definitely add it to my collection. Next one that I'm also dying to have, and if I have an opportunity to blind buy it, I will. That is Bodacious from Boadecia, the Victorious. I probably butchered all the names, but you know, I'm putting the names in the bottle so you know what I am talking about. This fragrance is about cherries. I have been obsessed with cherries in the last couple of years. Definitely want to try it. Definitely want to not just try it, I want to add it to my collection. I am prepared to blind buy it. I just have a feeling that I'm going to love it based on the notes and based on the reviews. So yes, this one, as soon as I have an opportunity to get it, as soon as I find it somewhere that ships here again, I will definitely add it. So this one is a pretty strong, pretty high up on my wish list. Another fragrance that I would definitely like to get is from House of Pantheon Roma, which is a house that I discovered recently. I have Trastevere from this line and I absolutely love it. And another fragrance from this house that I would like to have is Dolce Passione. This is kind of their chocolate scent, but I think it also has truffle in it. Can't remember what else it has, but overall it's a chocolate scent that, from what I understand, is not very sweet. Like it sort of has this more of a dark chocolate vibe, maybe because of the addition of truffles. Anyways, I haven't tried it. I'm not sure if I will blind buy it or if I would want to sample it first, but definitely want to add it to my collection. Next one on the list comes from the house of Goldfield in Banks, which is an Australian niche house, and this is their newest release, Sunset Hour. I actually sampled this fragrance already, and you know, it's interesting. When I first sampled it, I knew that I liked it, but I didn't think that I wanted a full bottle. But the more that I tried it, the more that I wore it, the more I fell in love with it, and I realized, no, I really want to have it. This is definitely kind of a sweet, fruity scent. It has kind of an unusual note in it. What is it called? Desert peach. I think it also has another name. I've never smelled a desert peach. Don't know how different it is from regular peach, but it definitely doesn't smell like a regular peach. It smells very fruity. It smells very sweet. It smells very rich. It's not similar to Passoire, but it sort of puts me in a similar mood as when I wear Passoire. It gives me similar vibes just by by its mood. I think it's similar, but it doesn't, this actual smell is not similar, although both are obviously fruity scents. Anyways, I really fell in love with this scent. It's not overly complicated. It's not overly unique, but at the same time, I found it quite addictive, and I really fell in love with it. So definitely want to add this fragrance to my collection. Next one comes from the house of Ahwaz. I don't know, not sure how to pronounce it. And the fragrance is called Helwa. This is supposed to be this really sweet, gourmand, kind of vanilla caramel type of scent. There are only 4 notes listed on Fragrantica: caramel, vanilla, toffee, and amber. Now, I found out about this fragrance on YouTube. First, I heard, I think, if I remember correctly, the Gourmand King talk about it. I don't know if you're familiar with his channel. He really, so far, only talks about gourmand fragrances, and he talks about a lot of new and unusual scents that nobody else talks about. So absolutely love his channel. He doesn't release videos consistently, but I always enjoy his videos because I find out about new fragrances. So I'm definitely, anyone that I talk about, it will be linked in my description. And then I think after that, I also heard Lauren talk about this as well. And you know, she also enjoys gourmand scents, and she seems to love this one. So I definitely would like to have it. I've contemplated blind buying it, and I feel relatively safe blind buying it because based on the notes, I think I'm going to love it. The problem is the scent is very expensive. A little bit more expensive than I expected it to be. So I'm not quite ready to pull the plug on it, but definitely would like to have it, and perhaps will get it at some point. Now, this leaves us with 2 more fragrances, and like I said, nothing really was in order on this list. Although I would say that the last 2 are probably the ones that I want a little bit less than everything else that I have mentioned. So these are more would like to have than absolutely must have and really want to have. Now, the last 2 are one from Fragrance du Bois and one from the house of Xerjoff. So let me start with Xerjoff. I would really like to have Ebitera. This is a fragrance that I have sampled and I really, really liked. This is an iris-centric scent. And, you know, the house of Xerjoff has a number of iris fragrances. There is this one, Ebitera. There is Apollonia, which I recently acquired. There's also another one. I think it's actually called Iris or Iris or something like that. And really, Ebitera, I think, is the most beautiful scent, the most mass appealing, and I really, really loved it. Of course, I don't want to pay full price on it and purchase it directly from Xerjoff. I would like to get it on a discounter, so I have been kind of monitoring, but the scent has been out of stock for a really, really long time. But I think if I can find it for a decent price or a more reasonable price on a discounter, I will definitely add it to my collection. So I'm kind of waiting to see if it becomes available again. So I would definitely like to have this scent, but it's not like I'm dying to have it and willing to, you know, pay full price for it. The last one kind of appeared on my wish list unexpectedly and out of nowhere a little bit. I'm not sure why. I've heard about this scent for a long time. It never truly piqued my interest, and all of a sudden, again, I don't even know how or why, but it appeared on my wish list, and it is OUD Jaune Intense. Not sure why. This is supposed to be kind of a fruity, slightly tropical type of scent from what I hear. I've never sampled it. I'm not sure if I'm ready to blind buy it, mostly not because I don't think I'm going to not like the scent, because I think I'm going to enjoy the scent, but because some of the scents for Fragrance du Bois really have poor performance, and you know, when you're paying so much money for a scent, you would like it to perform well. So not sure if I need to sample it first. Most likely that's what's gonna happen, but if it performs well, then I would definitely like to add it to my collection. So there you go. I think this was 10 fragrances that are very, very strongly on my wish list, fragrances that I would definitely like to add to my collection this year. Would love to know what is on your wish list. Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye.